What is common knowledge that you found out way too late? Never make an important decision if you are hungry or horny. Both have a massive impact on your decision-making abilities. Always eat before food shopping. To me, unless I make a list anyway, I need to be at the neutral hunger level. I can't have eaten too recently or too long ago, else I get nothing or everything. Yes. Going when I'm not at all hungry is just as bad. I just get stuff. There's no real plan. I just get ingredients. It's like I'm not interested in food and can't come up with cohesive plans for meals, so I just buy things I think kinda sound vaguely good together, I think, maybe, and end up with a bunch of half-planned meals, and having to go back to the store a day or two later. Or let's be real, I make my husband go back. Therese, no rules to doing chores. You can make it more fun if you want to. For no reason I forgot that I could watch a TV show while I fold laundry and I didn't have to just sit there and do it. I listen to music or podcasts while doing the dishes, gardening, or cleaning up. It adds a lot of enjoyment to otherwise tedious tasks. This tip also applies to work in some aspects. Have to install Windows on 50 machines? Thank God for audiobooks lol. Time goes by fast. Always get it in writing. See ya, cover your ass. Learned that when I was a social worker for 10 years, horribly abused by my boss's clients. I work an office job now doing data entry. The younger employees find it odd that I save so many emails. I want proof of everything so I can go back and point out, see, you did agree. It saved me enough that people trust my credibility and will come to me first if there's confusion in anything. A boss of mine who is really above me in the company asked me, why the duck did you do that? That's nonsense, and now it's making a fucking mess. I forwarded an email that we exchanged 6 years ago where he specifically asked for this, and where I answered I disagree because it was something that would cause trouble. And the answer where he said that it wasn't me to decide and I had no other choice than doing this. Never been questioned again. Edit, thanks guys, I didn't expect this comment to blow up like this. And to be honest, it never happened before. I can't answer to all of your comments, but I'm happy that this case was relevant for many of you. Had to be satisfying AF. Yes, it was. First, when he complained, I wasn't sure I had proof that he asked. When I found the email, and could forward him, I was really happy. Must have felt like Indiana Jones finding a legendary artifact. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Edit, wow. I'm trying to reply to everyone, he'll get there. My boyfriend introduced me to Voyager. My husband let me watch TNG. Edit 2, the boyfriend became the husband. I made it so. Don't let the in-laws move in. You know what the difference between in-laws and outlaws is? Outlaws are wanted. Your oral health is just as important as your general health. For real, take it from someone who didn't take care of his teeth for 25 years. I have suffered through more than a decade of excruciating pain, and now it's going to cost me north of $10,000 to get it fixed. Take care of your teeth, kids. Edit, to clarify, the $10,000 is just to get all the broken teeth extracted. I'm going to be paying for the replacement side of that for the rest of my life. Flushable wipes are not to be flushed ever. Should be illegal to call them that. Yeah. I've heard some cities are contemplating suing the manufacturer because they're ducking up the sewers. Percentages are reversible. So 8% of 25 is the same thing as 25% of 8, and sometimes the reverse is easier to calculate. This goes for calculating birthdays as well if they had their birthday already this year. 30-year-old was born in 1992, 92-year-old was born in 1930, 45-year-old was born in 1977, 77-year-old was born in 1945. My idiot monkey brain wants to immediately challenge you on this because it feels like bullshit. But goddamn, I learned something cool today. Headaches, sluggishness, and crankiness are all signs of being hungry. I took medication that made me lose my appetite, and I am not very good at recognizing different types of hunger cues. Feeling especially sad, anxious, or guilty late at night means I gotta go to bed. Didn't figure this out at all. I saw the phrase "never trust how you feel about your life" after 9 p.m. early this year, just before I turned 25. Every action made in anger ends in sorrow. An attorney, when I was 24. I mean, I'm never sorry after I've rage cleaned. This is the way. I anxiety and rage clean. Lol. That you need to regularly check and top up the fluids in your car. I bought my first car at 16, a cheap old beater, and knew nothing about cars other than gas makes it go. Found out the hard way that it had other required fluids that I had neither checked nor filled. Broke down on the highway and ducked up my engine. And changed the cabin air filter more than once every 5 years. Every time I get my oil changed, they try to sell me the premium package by taking out my dirty air filter and showing it to me, and of course the package includes a new air filter. I'm so poor cheap, I never go for it, so they just put it back in. There's been a B in it for 4 consecutive premium package refusals. Put that B back in there and change my oil. I thought islands were floating landmasses for way longer than I am proud to admit. I want to live in a small, happy village on a floating island full of food and somehow fresh water, that just visits places all over the world. A boat. No one really cares about you. I don't mean that in a bad way. But everyone is so busy thinking about themselves, you are always an afterthought. The most embarrassing thing in your life probably doesn't matter that much to someone else. Going through something like this right now. Hardly anyone cares for what I have to say. That's why I go out of my way to check up on my friends and random people who look down every now and then because I know how it feels. Tell the police nothing. Tell the paramedic everything. And if you abuse opiates, tell your anesthesiologist. Or any substance abuse for that matter. If not, you might not get enough medication to achieve the desired anesthesia or pain management. A pony is not a baby horse. Edit. The number of people who are responding to this saying that they didn't know this makes me feel so much better for having learned it last year from Reddit. At 36 years old. Glad I'm not the only one it took a while for. Cheers. That gargling salt water works way better than cough drops for colds and sore throats. Something I can contribute to. Streptococcus bacteria cannot grow in a salty environment. Gargling with salt water will help stave off a strep infection while your immune system kicks up. Not sure of common knowledge, but Win plus left or right snaps window to half the screen. Handy when you are referring to 2 different documents or websites at the same time. I learned that last month. Flammable and inflammable mean the same, found that out the hard way. Flammable. Or inflammable. Forget which. Doesn't matter. Inflammable means flammable? What a country. Simply asking how are you once in a while is all it takes to not fall apart from old friends. Basic living skills. My parents were hoarders and neglected me growing up. We lived in filth and wore dirty clothes, rarely bathed, etc. So I never learned what goes into keeping a house clean, or good hygiene practices, or the basic skills needed for normal life. I know in theory how to do those things now, but the underlying core organizational, management, etc. skills still aren't there. It's kinda hard to explain, but it just feels like there will always be a gap for me. Upkeep on a modest-sized single-family home is a part to full-time job in itself. I went from a condo to a place that is a little bit bigger, has a yard, a lawn with landscaping, and needed to be modernized. It's been quite the lesson learning how much time and effort you actually have to spend to keep the place in decent shape. Going too long without sleep can impair your ability to drive the same way as drinking too much alcohol. Very true. The only accident I've ever been involved in was a couple weeks after my best friend very suddenly died, and I was averaging an hour of sleep a night. I don't even remember the accident itself, but I'm told I didn't even slow down. I just drove straight through a red light and got T-boned. I don't think I fell asleep at the wheel, but I was definitely out of it. Thank God everyone was okay, but both cars were totaled. Never driving when I'm that tired again. Okay. This almost happened to me a couple weeks ago. I was in a period of work that was particularly stressful, and so I was not sleeping well for a week or so. One day I woke up just super tired. But I went to the grocery store in my car. Well, my tired brain didn't even register a red light and I drive right ducking through it. This is embarrassing to admit and I feel like such an asshole for causing the situation. But I swear I just did not perceive at all that I was crossing a red light, even though I'm normally an excellent driver, never had one incident. I almost got T-boned, but the other car squealed to a stop just in time. When you're sleep deprived, you actually feel much more capable than you truly are. It's a known effect. We really need to get this message out more about how dangerous sleep deprived driving is.